Building an app used to mean spending months learning to code or paying tens of thousands of dollars to a development agency. Today, you can describe an idea in plain English and watch a working interface assemble itself in minutes. The marketing around these new platforms makes them all look like magic buttons that require zero technical skill. But under the hood, they are completely different tools built for entirely different problems. If you pick a platform just because a viral video made it look easy, you are walking straight into a very common, very frustrating trap. It's called the complexity ceiling. This is the exact moment you realize the simple drag-and-drop tool you chose cannot connect to your database or refuses to let you change a specific design element. When you hit that ceiling, there is no quick fix. You have to abandon weeks of work and start over on a new platform. To avoid that trap, we need a better way to evaluate these tools. Looking at this decision tree flowchart, we can bypass the marketing hype and categorize your app idea into one of three distinct pathways: an internal business tool, a startup MVP, or a custom mobile application. By the end of this video, we will map the 6 most popular AI builders of 2026 directly into these empty slots. You will know exactly which platform matches your technical skill and your final goal long before you write a single prompt. Let's start with a practical scenario. You run a local service business, and you need a customer database, an inventory tracker, or an employee scheduling tool up and running by tomorrow. For complete beginners who need immediate utility, Glide is the obvious starting point. This comparison matrix breaks down our 2 main business builders. Looking at Glide's data sources, it turns existing spreadsheets, like Google Sheets or Airtable, directly into professional, working applications instantly. But here is the trade-off. Glide is incredibly fast because it forces you to use their pre-built layouts. You get a clean, functional app immediately, but you cannot heavily customize the user interface to build a flashy consumer product. If your business needs are slightly more externally focused, you shift over to Softr. Softr pulls from those same databases, but its use case is explicitly designed for building client portals, resource libraries, and membership sites. You connect your company data, and your clients get a secure dashboard. The trade-off with Softr is similar. It is highly reliable for portals, but it lacks the deep underlying code control you would find in a developer-focused platform. Both of these data-first builders prioritize giving you a practical, working tool immediately at the expense of total creative freedom. Now, suppose you don't have an existing business database. You are a solo founder with an idea for a brand new web application, and you want to build it entirely through text prompts. This quadrant chart maps the manual effort required against the final impact of the app. Lovable lands perfectly in the low-effort, high-visual impact zone. You type plain English, and it instantly generates a sleek, modern user interface. Lovable is exceptional for rapidly validating an idea and seeing that on screen. The trade-off is that if your app requires highly complex custom logic behind those pretty buttons, you will eventually need to pull that interface into other tools to make it work. If you need a fully functional prototype that actually processes data, Bolt.new sits slightly further along the effort axis. When you prompt Bolt, the AI actually writes and outputs real functional web software. But because Bolt is writing real code, it introduces a major trade-off for beginners: technical debt. The AI does the heavy lifting, but as your app gets larger and more complex, the AI will eventually get confused or spit out an error. When that happens, you are the one who has to read the actual code and figure out the logic to debug it. Prompt-driven tools are incredible for launching an MVP in days instead of months. Just know that if the app takes off, you will eventually have to manage the underlying code yourself. Finally, we reach the users who have strict requirements. You need your app available in the iOS and Android app stores, or you need absolute infinite control over how your software functions. This scorecard lays out what you need to bring to the table for the 2 most powerful platforms on the market: FlutterFlow and Replit AI. FlutterFlow is built specifically for mobile platforms. It uses a visual building system to generate professional, exportable code that you can submit directly to Apple and Google. The trade-off is that achieving native app quality requires you to learn an interface that feels closer to professional design software than a simple drag-and-drop tool. Then there is Replit AI. This is for the creator who wants no limits. You can build custom APIs, massive mobile backends, and full software platforms. But Replit AI is a full cloud coding environment. The AI acts as your senior developer and tutor, writing code alongside you, which means you must be willing to sit down and learn actual programming to use it effectively. If you want true App Store distribution or complex custom logic, you have to trade simple convenience for a much steeper learning curve. No single platform gives you one-click simplicity and infinite scalability at the same time. You have to pick the trade-off you can live with. Returning to our decision tree, let's map your goal. Beginners needing internal tools? Choose Glide. For client portals? Softr. Non-technical founders needing visual mockups? Choose Lovable. For a functional web MVP? Bolt.new. For App Store launches? FlutterFlow. For infinite control via coding? Replit AI. AI has made creating software possible for anyone, regardless of background. Your success comes down to picking the tool that solves your specific problem, instead of chasing the marketing hype. If this breakdown helped you figure out your next build, hit subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive.